If you're a brand new associate trying to get 100 patients in 100 days, stop treating it like it's an ads goal. It's a communication plus a conversion plus a consistency goal, because if your messaging is messy and your follow up is weak, more leads is just going to expose all of those problems. So before I get into how to get to 100 new patients in 100 days for an associate, probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? My name's Angus. I'm a chiropractor. I have managed over 30 associates at one time, worked with hundreds of practices all over the world. So the reason this video exists is because I know not every owner knows how to do this stuff. So this is your way of learning from someone else who knows the system. What I'm going to give you is a 4-phase protocol based on the systems I run inside of PracDev. It's foundations, reactivations, communications, and then you can scale a little bit at the end. So phase 1 is not glamorous whatsoever. It is just getting trust and doing reps. Most new associates will come into a practice and blend in straight away. People don't even know they're there after that first email sent. So what you need to do is pick one lane and make that your lane for 100 days. It's not forever. You just need to pick one lane, one problem you solve, go all in on that. That's the first thing you're going to do. You can start off with low back pain, neck pain, headaches, whatever. Just be the person who's known for solving that problem for the next 100 days. So now you know what you want to be known for. You need to get a rhythm going. Let's start with the first 30 days. Okay. Minimum, we're going to do one post per day on social media, Facebook, Instagram. You can do TikTok if you're nasty, wherever your ideal patients are going to come from. So if you're wanting TikTok, they're probably going to be younger. Most people are on Instagram and Facebook, so I'd start there personally. What I would do with that content is I wouldn't treat it like some polished version of myself. I'd literally use it as like rehearsal for your in-consult consultations. Things that you already are going to be talking about, your report of findings, your initial consultation. Just get the reps in. Remember, it's not sexy. We're just getting the reps in over time to get your confidence up. So break down all the parts that you do in the clinic already over a 30-day period. Talk about your one lane and make 30 pieces of content on it. Now, the whole point of this first 100 days is so that you don't blend into the clinic. You need to be known by every single person who's in that door, okay? Anyone else's patients you are saying hello to, you're introducing yourself. If you're not in the room with a patient, you're at the front desk saying hello to everyone. You can then send out SMS broadcasts, emails, make sure you talk to your owner first, and essentially you want to start to target what we call warm people who are already in the clinic. These are people that the clinic already has their email list, email address, maybe their phone number. You can introduce yourself, tell them what you're about, show them the lane that you're on, show them your Instagram page, and just start to get known by the people in the door. At this first stage, we don't want to go and pay for external people to be coming in. We want you to be known inside your community that is that practice already. Doubling down on warm lists, we want to do some kind of reactivation SMS. Down below, there's a link to a blog that has this exact script written in it. But what you're probably going to write on it is, hey, person's name, you've inquired about X in the past. These are for leads or reactivations. Are you still looking for help? Again, what we're doing is we're dipping into people who have already given us their details. We're not paying for new ones. So this first quadrant, as I said, it's not sexy by any means whatsoever. It's pick the thing you're going to be known for, talk about it for 30 days, get known by every single person in the practice, and then reach out to people who you've already got the details of. The clinic's going to have a list of people who are either inactive leads, people who never showed up, or inactive patients. You may as well be talking to those two groups of people because they're free. Start there. Okay, so that's phase 1. Not very sexy. Phase 2 is a little bit more sexy because we start to do paid advertising. Now, this is controlled. We're not going to go and throw everything at this. This is where most clinics are going to stuff it up because they don't break it into a 4-phase plan. They just go all in on one thing. The associates, you're not as good as you're going to be in 6 months' time. So your conversion rates aren't quite there. It's expensive when that's happening, and there's all these steps along the way where it can go wrong. What's going to happen is the owner is going to feel like they're paying for all your new patients and you're not getting anyone to start care. They're going to think, oh, I'm paying for this associate and they're not making me any money. You're going to be sitting there stressing because you're trying your hardest. You're going to be like, there's not enough new patients. You're going to go to the owner and say, I need more new patients. They already feel like they're overpaying. Not a very nice conversation. So there's 3 conversion points that we're going to tighten up here. Now that we get ads on, we're going to actually make sure any lead, we have the absolute best opportunity for them to come in. So there's 3 points. There's booking to show up. There's initial consultation to reporter findings. And then there's follow-ups for any leads that aren't booking in. So these are people who aren't answering the phone. Maybe they're responding, but they're not actually booking in. Okay. What we're going to do at that point is we're trying to improve what we call a show rate. So this is your owner's already paid for a Facebook lead. You don't need to know the ins and outs of this. There's other videos on it, but they pay for a lead. Let's say it's $50. If you get one of those two leads to come, that's technically going to cost $100 for that person to come in. Okay. You need to get that percentage down as low as you can to give yourself the best chance at that owner continually giving you leads. Okay. So show rate is based on phone calls, how good you're scripting on the phone, making sure people are booking in. How often are you calling? What kind of SMSs and emails are going out? Are they personal? Are you making sure everyone who becomes a lead has the environment to be able to book in when they want to, but you're also there enough so that you're in the conversation? Okay. So that's the first point. When ads go on, we make sure we are efficient with our leads. We don't want to waste any, because what we know is on the back end of this, even if they book in, your initial to reporter findings conversion rate is going to be lower than it is when it's later. Okay. Then what you want to focus on is you've got them in the door. Make sure that you've got a nice consult flow. This is something that every associate starts out with. We come out of uni, we're looking for a way or a flow of how to do things. And, you might go and work for someone and they've actually got a bit of a system. So you start to learn that. Make sure you know that thing back to front, upside down, sideways, everything. Okay. Get your consult flow, because you're going to get this from your 30-day posting, remember? So break this thing down into posts individually so that you know exactly what's going on at every single point in time during that consultation, and you're talking about it constantly as well. So, which leads then into scripts. If your owner has a script, make sure you know it. It's not some kind of sales technique. It's just, think of it as guide rails so that you actually stay on the right path. If you don't have it there, you're going to go way off track and just end up with a random bunch of stuff. Stick to the scripts that they have. If they don't have one, create one for yourself. Now that you know your consultation flow, you should know what needs to be said at each point. Scripts is something you can always add to in the future. But right now, all you're looking for is consistency. Remember, trust and repetition. Consistency is a part of repetition. Then we mentioned ads. So ads at 1/3 budget. Don't go and throw the kitchen sink at it just yet until you get everything else right. Okay. So with your ads, we recommend $60. That's AUD. NZ is going to be the same. UK is probably going to be about £30. US is probably going to be about 35 US dollars. But what we're doing here is we're controlling how much we're putting out. Okay. So if $60 is the total budget, obviously we're going to start with $20, because we want to make sure that the ads are converting. Remember, if you go back a step, that show rate, we want to make sure we've got that nailed before we start investing more into our advertising. Okay, so start at a 1/3 budget in this first or this second phase. With a lower budget, it's about what ads are you running. We suggest you run 5 ads per month, because creative fatigues, you need that volume for people to continue watching your videos. Now, if you need 5 scripts, we have them inside of a premium group inside a school. You can get access to those. You just need to be a premium member. If your boss isn't already a premium member, maybe tell them to be a premium member so you can get access to the 5 scripts. It's going to be better for them anyway. But anyway, the absolute basics of an ad is that you need to call out the problem. So that's the hook. It's like a symptom hook. What's going on? Tell them about the root cause reframe. It's like, you probably keep getting this problem because you haven't found out what the root cause is. And then do a consult call to action. Okay. Just be straight to the point. Don't try and be fluffy or anything. It's like, if you've got neck pain, let's say that's your thing. You've tried ices, stretching, and heat packs, and nothing's working. We do a full assessment with posture and x-rays that can help. Click the link below so that you can book in. That's basically the nuts and bolts of it. If you can create 5 different ads of those per month, you are then going to tick off phase 2, which now you've got your theme. People know what you're about. You've got ads that back up your theme. You've got content going out about that theme even further on organics. You've broken down your consult flow into parts, so you're getting more and more confidence about what you're talking about, and consistency. Okay, consistency is the key there with the scripts as well. You've got a small budget now going onto these ads that you've just started creating, and You're working on your show rate so that you can prove to yourself that you can add more budget and get people to book in without wasting money. That's going to keep the owner happy. It's going to keep you happy, and it's going to give you the most chance to keep being consistent and grow in this first 100-day period. Phase three really is doubling down on what's working and then getting proof. In the first 30 days, you are just proving to yourself that you can communicate the thing that you're going to be known about. You're getting known by people inside the clinic, you're getting some ads up, you're seeing if you can get people to show up. You now need to show people that you actually do see patients. That's what B-roll is. So B-roll is adjusting footage, new patient walkthrough footage. I have some guides linked below that you can have a look at. But basically, all you're doing is showing the process again. Okay, so now that you've spoken about the process, you need to actually show it. You do that with B-roll. So make a checklist of shots that happen every single time. Don't do these with new patients. Do these with people who already know you. Start with friends, family, CAs, people like that. Then once you get confident, you've got enough patients who know, like, and trust you, you can start to use them. But for now, just use people who are close to you. What you're doing with your B-roll is you're separating yourself from everyone else. Okay, you're really starting to become your own personal brand here because you're showing off your skill set. That's really the point of B-roll. So I would recommend 2 full walkthroughs once a month. So you're getting so much B-roll that you can use for content, and then also that you can layer into your ads as well. Okay. Now, on your ads, the 20 frames, they're inside the guide, just linked below. The ads. At this point, if your show rate's pretty good, the $20 budget's working well, and the ads are performing, you can then add another third. Okay. You can now start to bump up the ad spend. The reason for this is you're proving to yourself that you can get busy, you can get people started, people are listening to you. You're proving that people do see you. It's normal to go see you. You're a legit person, chiropractor, doing your job. So start to invest a little bit more. By that point, you've essentially proved to yourself and your boss that you can do it. So then it's going to be a no-brainer to bump that up, okay? Now, when you're at that point, there's a couple of numbers that you're going to need to know about. First one is the overall numbers called cost of acquisition or client acquisition cost. It's the cost to get someone to start care. So if you have a report of findings conversion process, you might say if they do a prepayment and book out these appointments, that's your acquisition cost. So what you do is you start off with your lead cost, new patient cost, report of findings cost, who actually starts care. You figure that out. So let's say it was $50 lead. You get half of the leads to become bookings. Now it's a $100 new patient. Then you get half of the new patients to do like start care and a report of findings. You're at a $200 cost of acquisition. So that would be on the high end of things, just as a rough number. But if you can get your CAC down to like $100, you're going to repay that amount back within a visit or two. You want to basically, within 3 visits, you want to pay that marketing spend back as fast as you can. Second number to watch out for is your 30-day cash. So if you're getting someone to start care, how much do you make in that first month? So 4 weeks, most clinics are going to recommend like once, twice, or 3 times a week. Times that by your adjustment fee, like an average, it's going to give you a number. Add your new patient exam cost. So let's say it's 50. Let's just say you do $100 visits and you do 8 of those. That's $850 in the first 30 days. You want to make sure that your cost of acquisition is 1/3 of that 30-day collection. That's just a rough number, okay? You are trying to bring this down to prove to yourself that you can keep investing more in ads, because if you put $1 in, you get $3 back. That's smart business. That's what you would do, okay? If you don't get that, or it's nowhere near that, or it's under that, like you're actually losing money, do not scale yet. Keep working on getting that show rate down or up. Sorry, the percentage, increasing that percentage, or making sure people are starting care on the back end. Finally, what you're doing is you're doubling down on proof. So now you can move your content into showing off your proof as well. So this was all talking about the ads, talking about the symptoms, talking about the thing you solve. Now start to get some proof. Show some stuff that you're doing. Show the process, what's happening in the assessment, what the root cause actually means, because you've spoken about it. Now actually show it. Talk about how you decide on a plan, how it improves. Basically, all you're trying to do here is just keep adding layers of proof. That is really the summary of what phase 3 is. It's just the proof layer to double on, okay, is this working? To add some proof, yes. Let's add 1/3 of the budget if those numbers are making sense. Cool. So if you've passed those 3 phases and you're up to the 4th phase, Remember, we're sticking to the same problem. This is all within a 100-day period. But what we're going to do here is we're going to stop playing the new patient roulette and we're going to start to systematize referrals and make sure people are completing these things that we're selling them. Okay. Because most associates are losing their lifetime values, which is the total lifespan of a patient, because you're not leading or not clear enough at the start. So to improve on that, we're looking at internal referrals. Now that you are generating your own new patients, you're proving to people online what you're doing, you are going to start asking for internal referrals. You've shown enough proof now for people to trust you to start telling other people to come and see you. That's the first place that you start. The next thing you can do is you can add that last third of the ad spend. So the extra 20, 20, 20, you're at 60 now, only if those numbers are making sense and your retention is holding. Okay. So you've been running this for 30 days. You've been running this for 30 days. It's now been 60 days. You're seeing if those people who you started with at the start are actually finishing what you're recommending. So if you did recommend those 8 visits and they actually do the 8 and then they go on to the next phase of care, if that's what you do, brilliant. Your retention's holding. If not, you're getting 4 visits and then they're dropping out. You need to go back and focus on your retention. The key to this is most of the time, the problem is much earlier than the point that they drop out. So they might get to a progress exam and drop out. The reason for that is probably back in the new patient exam. Back here, you haven't explained something right. So you might have said, yep, in the first month, it's 8 visits and we do this, this, this. But then you don't say, oh, after that, we go on to a once a month care, maintenance care or something like that. If you don't talk about that next phase, people will drop out because that sounds like an add-on. It's like you're trying to offer them more after they've already finished the thing. They've just heard 8 visits and then you've just told them more and they're like, no. So always look further up the pipeline. Usually it's going to be in the new patient or reporter findings exam. Go back as far as you can and be like, okay, this is why people are dropping out. If that's not an issue for you, excellent. Add that ad spend, nice and simple. Make sure your show rate's staying the same. Keep your consistency, keep posting, showing proof, and keep working people through that process. So at the lifetime value, we spoke about the 30-day cash being 1 to 3. Lifetime value, you want 1 to 10. So it's a longer time period. And you basically want, if it costs $100 to get someone to start care, you want to make sure you make 1,000. Okay. That's the secondary game that gets played with retention. So if we go back through the phases, what we're going through is picking something for consistency and showing up. So the non-negotiable there is going to be post every single day. All right. That's what you're doing and talk about it. Get absolutely known by the people in the practice, every single person. Then send out some SMSs to the list that already exists. It's free. Do that. Then we're going to start playing with some ads. So this can happen in the first 30 days as well, but we're going to play at a lower game, about a third. You're going to create ads from your own scripts, all the ones we have. You're going to make sure that those ads, when a lead comes in, the show rate is as high as you can possibly make it by following calls, SMSs, emails. You're making sure you're the one on those. Then you're making sure your consistency is a thing. What you're doing in the practice is what's getting communicated outside, and you're consistent every single time. After 30 days, you then move into a proof phase. So you start to film B-roll, you start to show it. So the non-negotiable there is 2 B-rolls per month so that you can add that back into your content that you're posting about. You're making sure your scripting is bang on. If there's clinic scripts, you're sticking to those. If not, you're making your own. Consistency is the key and it's proof. If it's all working, the numbers are adding up, you're adding another third over here, okay? Now you've gone 30 days, you're into 60 days, you've got proof. You're starting to get an idea of what your retention looks like, which is where you assess in phase 4. So this is the beyond 60 to 100 days, basically. So you're looking at, okay, I recommended these. Did they actually get to that point? You're starting to play that game of lifetime value. If the answer is no, go back to your scripts and be like, why are they dropping out there? It's usually because you're not mentioning that there's extra care there. If it's not an issue, awesome. Add that extra third to the ads spends. The owner's going to be happy with this assessment protocol. You're proving that you're not wasting money. You're getting people in the door. It's worth spending then. Awesome. And then you're starting to filter your own list. So if you've had someone go through 60 days of care and they're pretty happy, you start asking. You just say, hey, you got anyone in your life that you think I could help out with? You might do an internal offer where you give them a free adjustment or the initial consultation's free for whoever they refer. You can play with those things once you start to get a system going in place. Phases in 100 days. That's how I would get to 100 visits in 100 days. Most associates are failing because they're chasing outcomes without installing like the weekly inputs. They don't know what to do. They just turn an ad on and hope something happens. To be honest, the owner's doing the same thing. So this is really, it's the engine. It's when you're stressing out, you don't know what to do these things. Okay. It'll help calm you down because you're moving in the right direction. If you just do this for 100 days, you don't just get busier, you do, but you become the kind of associate who can actually communicate online as well. You can convert in clinic and you can actually start to add value and budget in the right places with proof behind it. You're not just guessing. Not a lot of chiropractors can communicate online properly. So if you nail that one thing, you're going to be ahead of the game within your first 100 days. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a bit of work, but if you stick to it, you will be able to become someone who can get to 100 and beyond, whatever your goal is and whatever your systems allow you to do. So as I said, all of this comes from a blog that I've already written. I will link it down below. I have lists of hooks and things that you can use for posting frequencies. We have an entire school group on how to actually make content properly. If you actually want to map this into your clinic and your boss is like, hey, you're doing some good stuff, what else can we be doing? You can upgrade to premium to get access to me and all of the scripting and the actual build out. Or we can do a full VIP services where we actually run the ads for you. It's probably going to be a conversation with your boss, to be honest. But what you can start off with is an audit and actually see what the numbers are trickling back for you, that cost of acquisition, the 30 days and the lifetime value. Then we can start to build a 100-day plan around the reality of what's going on inside of your practice. So hopefully that helps. All of the information is linked below. If you ever want to talk to me, just DM me on School or Instagram and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Hopefully this helps.